Hi, this is Survivor from Scrappy Mania, and today I'm going to make a companion page for this layout that I showed you how to create with quilling. So I'm going to keep the same theme. I'm going to do a companion page that has a lot of quilling within the layout. So I'm using the same paper, the Luxury Stack by Die Cut with a View. And let me show you some of the pages, or the papers that this collection has. It's a very nice kind of antique romance paper, and it also has a shimmer within the paper, as you can see here. Has some beautiful pinks, and it has some silver undertones, some gray undertones. So it's a very nice paper. So I'm going to be using my quilling kit to create some of the embellishments, and I am going to use a lot of the leftovers that I have. So the paper that I'm going to use, I'm going to be using this one for my background paper. This is going to be, I'm going to cut it down and distress the edges. I'm not going to do the doily kind of motif on it like I did here, so I'm not going to use something to create like a doily around the page. What I want to do is I just want to cut it down, and then I'm going to distress it a little bit and lay that on top of this, and I'm going to use some distressing ink, and then I'm going to be using this to create a border for this. So with this I want to create like a little lacy border, so I'm going to use this paper for the lace border, and then I'm going to look for some other materials that I'm going to use to create a lot of flowers. So it's going to have some flowers here with some embellishments or some swirls. It's going to have a lot of flowers here and here. It's going to have a scallop edge here, and somewhere else it's probably going to have some more of those quilt butterflies and things like that. So let me go ahead and start cutting down the pages and getting some of my punches, and I shall be back. And now I'm ready. I already cut a lot of my pieces down. So this is from a leftover piece from the last layout, and I'm using, and this is 4.5 by 6.5, and this is 5 by 7 to make a nice little border around it. So the next thing I want to do is I want to create a nice lace border around this, and this measures, let me see, is 6 by 8. So this is 6 by 8, and I'm going to use these Martha Stewart punch that I got for Mother's Day. So I'm going to be using that to create my lace border. And then I cut another strip of the paper, and this one measures 11 by 2.5. So this is an 11 by 2.5 strip that I'm going to place there, and I'm also going to create some kind of border underneath it. I might use some of my lace or some of my trim, or I might use some lace to put under there for that, for this border. And then of course this is 11 by 3/4 of an inch, and this is 12 by 12. So let me go ahead and cut this piece with my Martha Stewart punch. So I went ahead and stitch around, as you can see there, and distress the edge. Now I'm going to go ahead and create my band here. So I use a silver piece of paper. This is some of my leftover from the last project, and I'm going to place this here, and then this is going to be underneath my layout like you see here. So let me go ahead and adhere this. And actually, before I adhere it, let me go ahead and distress the edges on my paper. And now I'm going to stitch the edges. Before I adhere this piece down, I want to put another embellishment, and I do have this doily, nesting doilies that I purchased recently. And I'm going to use that to put some more kind of doily lace on my layout. Now what influenced my decision in buying these circle dies from quick cuts is because they look like doily, and you get 5 dies for the price of one of a doily die. So I'm going to lay all my layers down. Now that small little doily don't make the cut, but the larger one and the rest of all the layers there does make it on the final layout. And now I'm going to show you how to create a quilt rose. Okay, for our first quilling project, we're going to create some roses. So these are the roses that I created using 1/4-inch strips of paper. And it's best to use paper that it's double-sided, or that the color is the same color on the back side. It doesn't work well when you have a pattern paper in the front and then just plain white paper in the back, because when you roll it, you're going to see the white from the back. So the best is to use either a solid color throughout or use a double-sided paper. So what you're going to do, you're going to go ahead and fold your strip on an angle like you see there. Then you're going to fold it in and fold it in again, and then again. And that starts forming like your little bud. Then you're going to put a little bit of adhesive to maintain that close. Then I find that it's easy for me to kind of fold the paper on itself towards the back and then roll. Then fold the paper again and then roll. And every once in a while I'm going to put some adhesive to kind of make sure that my strip doesn't unravel. So you're going to fold, you can see there, so you're going to fold and then turn it around, and then fold and turn it around. And see, you start seeing the rose right there. You fold and turn, and then now you're going to start making it a little looser. And see, now I'm starting to make the rose a little looser, putting some glue every once in a while, just a dab of glue. And just fold on its own towards the back, then fold. And now I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive, just a little bit. And fold back towards the back. A little bit of adhesive. Now I'll put the link on the guy there, on the YouTube person that has an excellent video on how to create these. So to finish it, you're going to put some adhesive there, and then you're going to glue this tab down. And then you can cut this piece off. And there you have a rose. So I'm going to continue making a bunch of these, and then I shall be back. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to create the butterflies. So I went ahead and did all my flowers, my roses. I'm also going to use some of these flowers and some of this. So we'll use that in the layout later on. But now I'm going to concentrate on creating my butterfly. So I like this butterfly, so I'm going to create this butterfly. And also, I think I'm going to create one of these as well. So 2 of these, 1 of these. So I'm going to show you how to create this one. So for that one, according to our instructions, you need a 4-inch loose circle of brown. So I already cut that. So let me go ahead and get that Here's the 4-inch brown. Then for the body, you're going to need an 8-inch for the body. So here's my 8-inch body. And then for the antenna, you need 2 inches. So there's my antenna, my head, and my body. Now for the one of the wings. So for the upper wings, you're going to need a 6-inch green, or whatever color you want to use. So the 6-inch strip, you're going to glue that together with another 6-inch strip, and this time I'm using yellow. And then you're going to glue that together with a 4-inch light blue. And you're going to start the roll from over here. And then we're going to put it in the size 2 circle. And the size 2 circle is, let's see, it's actually 1 7/8. Actually, is 3/4 of an inch. So that's 3/4 of a circle. But you don't really have to be very precise with that. I mean, it's going to be a bigger circle. So the upper wing is going to be a large circle. So whatever circle you use, this happens to be 3/4 of an inch. And then the lower wing is going to be in the size 3 circle, which is 1/2 inch. So notice the size. So this is larger than this circle. Okay? So I'm going to take my quilling tool and I'm going to go ahead and use my slotted quilling tool, and then I'm just going to roll. And I like to kind of, when I roll it, I like to put my quilling tool against my finger and then twirl. And that keeps it nice and tight. So you're going to keep twirling. Once we get the circle, you're going to put it on your circle template, which mine happens to be 3/4 of an inch, and you're going to let it uncoil. And then before it unravels, you're going to take a little bit of adhesive. So I always put a little bit of adhesive on a slick surface, and then I'm going to just close the ends. You see there. Make sure I close the end. And I'm going to put it back in that circle. Okay. So now you're going to do 2 of those. The next one we're going to do is actually just asking for a 10-inch for the lower wing. It's just a 10-inch solid color. Now you can change this up. You can actually put 2 colors together. Since you need 10-inch, you can do a 5-inch of one color and a 5-inch of another color to make your 10-inch. But I'm going to go ahead and follow the directions, and I'm going to use one solid color, which will be my green. And then this one, we're going to put it on the 1/2 inch circle, or number 3. And I'm going to hold it while it unravels. Then I'm going to take a little bit of adhesive and make sure I glue the ends together. So I'll let that dry. Now we're going to do the head. So the head, and I'm using brown. Again, you can use any color you want. You can use black. And then this one is going to be inserted in the number 6 circle, which is smaller than the number 3. It's probably half of a size. So it's probably 1/4 of an inch, because it looks like half of the size number 3. For the body, you're going to need an 8, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to coil it. And this strip actually goes on the number 4, which is a little smaller than the lower wing. It's a tad smaller than the lower wing. And when I measured this out the last time, it was 5/8 of an inch. So we're going to let these pieces dry. And so now let's go ahead and do this one. So I'm going to create this butterfly, and for that we're going to need 4-inch brown, the head of my half butterfly. For the body, I'm going to need an 8-inch, and these are 1/8 of an inch wide strip. You can create these yourself using a cutter, especially if you have a guillotine cutter. It will cut the strips very thin. And then that one I'm going to put it in the number 4 slot. This is for the body. And then for the antenna, you're going to need a 2-inch strip, which I have here. And let me make sure I have another 2-inch strip. That would be my antenna. And I'm going to create another set of, for my page I want to have 2 of these and 1 of these. So let me go ahead and create another set of this one, and we shall be back to put it all together. Okay, so I have all my pieces are dry. Now to form the antenna, what you need to do is fold the 2-inch strip in half, and then take your quilling tool and just roll toward the center. You're going to roll out, so you're going to roll away from the middle out to the center of the strip, and you're going to create like a V, like what you see there. You're going to do that to the other 2 strips. Now let's go ahead and create the first butterfly. So first I need to put a little bit more adhesive. I also need to have my pens ready. And let's go ahead and create the first butterfly. So you're going to take the head, and then we're going to take the body. Actually, this is the body, this is the head. You're going to take the body, and you're going to form a teardrop with the body. So you're going to take the body of the butterfly, and you're going to form a teardrop just like that. And then you're going to glue the head on top of your teardrop. So you're going to take some adhesive. You're going to glue the head on top of the teardrop. Then you're going to take your pins to make sure it stays in place. So you can use a cork board or anything like that, anything that you can place a pin to ensure that it dries tightly. So you need the pins to make sure when it dries, it dries tightly together. And then I'm going to go ahead and place my antenna. Put some glue the center. Place my antenna top of the head. Make sure I take some pins. And then I'm going to put a pin right on top. Okay. So see how it's starting to form the body. Okay. The pin just makes sure it helps hold it in place. Now that we have the body, now we need to go ahead and form the upper wing. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your upper wing, which is, this was, what did I say, 3/4 of an inch. And you're going to go ahead and form another teardrop with this wing. And then you're going to bend it outward like so. Just going to form a teardrop like that. You take your next one and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to create a teardrop, and then you're going to curve it outward. So it forms something like that. And that's going to go here. So let's go ahead and put some adhesive in where it's touching. Okay, and I'm going to put some pens. Make sure it stays tightly in place. I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, so see how everything is just touching together and the pin just helps it keep it in place. Now we need to do the lower half, and this one is going to be a teardrop, and actually it's going to be a marquee. Okay, and that's going to go there. Notice that it looks like a little marquee, and we're going to make sure we put enough adhesive. Okay, and I'm pushing it in. Ouch! Kind of pick myself with that the pen, but that's okay. And then we're going to make sure. Okay. See how that looks. We're going to do the same thing with the next. Okay. So there you have my first butterfly. So now I'm going to show you how to create the half butterfly, which is the same thing. You're going to take the body and you're going to take the head, place it there, take the lower half and create a teardrop, and you're going to glue the top of the teardrop to the head, and then you're going to use your pens to make sure it dries nicely, nice and tight. Okay, and then we're just going to put the antenna, and I'm going to go ahead and form a tear shape, and that's going to be on the side. Okay, and then I'm going to take the lower wing, make another teardrop, and that's going to be on the bottom. And I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to go ahead and create the next, once this dry, I'll create the next set of butterfly, and then we'll be back to put it all together. Okay, I'm ready to go ahead and adhere my pieces down. So I'm going to start with this layer here. I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to go ahead and lay this down. Now, because it's a little warped, so I'm going to use my hot glue gun to make sure that the piece stays well adhere on my paper. Okay, so the next piece is going to go here. And then I'm going to put some flowers here, so I'm going to go ahead and create some swirls. And I'm going to use, this is a bead in the bottle by Tulips, and I'm just going to create some pearls. Okay, and then I'm going to create some here. Okay, so we're going to hit it from underneath to round up, and then we're going to let this dry. So now I'm just making sure that all my layers are well secure on my page, and here I'm using this wood tag that says beautiful, and these tags are from Little Yellow Bicycle. And then these roses that you see there are the ones that I created earlier, and they're Quilling Roses with strip of paper. And then I'm just layering lots of silk flowers, and then I'm taking a silk flower, folding it in half, and tucking it under the cluster of roses, as you can see there. I'm going to do the same thing on top behind my title. I went ahead and took a silk flower and I folded it in half and tucked it under, as well as these roses. I went ahead and did the same technique, tucking it under my frame. And now I'm just kind of building up some more layers of flowers around my page. And now I have a nice little cluster here and here. Now I'm ready to build onto this cluster. I went ahead and used some stamp to create a little bit of like that watermark. And the way that I did that is by using a cork. So I have this cork that I took a bottle cap and I pounded in there, and I set it with hot glue. And then this, I like using this because it gives it a subtle, you can stamp that and see it gives a subtle little watermark embellishment or stamp. So you can stamp it around your page. And I already went ahead and put a lot of that stamping around my page. Okay. Now let me go ahead and start building my flower here. So I'm going to create a cluster here. So I'm going to put some of this glue. And I ran out of hot glue. So let me go ahead and put another stick in here. And it's just going to put one there. I'm going to lay another one here. And actually that's a little too big. Put this one here. And then I'm going to go ahead and place that flower there. So these are some of the flowers that I bought at Walmart, which I break apart. And then this is some of the other petite flowers that I created using that quilling technique. So now I'm just going to place some more. And these flowers created using some a piece of paper from the same paper left over from cutting my layers. And I just created these roses. And I'll put the link on the tutorial, but I created the rosette using this type of punch. Gonna put, let's see, this is some of my bias ribbon. And I think I'm gonna place that here. And I'm just going to place some more of these petite roses. Place another one here. And I want to make sure that I'm going to be able to slip a picture under there. Yep, and I will be. Okay. And let's see if it needs, I think I need I think this flower is a little too big, so I'm not going to put that there. Now I'm ready to place my butterflies. So this was one of the butterflies that I created. Place one there. I'm going to place my other one here. And then my last butterfly, I'm going to go ahead and place it right here. Or maybe here. I think it'll look better there. So let me go ahead and put a little bit of adhesive. So I'm just going to put a tab of hot glue and just lay it down. Tab of hot glue and lay that down here. And then I'm going to put a tab of hot glue and lay that here. I think we're good enough. We don't need to put any more embellishments. So here's my layout. So this is the first page, and this is the second page. So I hope you liked the tutorial, and try your hand at quilling. It's a very simple technique to use, and it really makes your page look wonderful. And thank you for watching. Bye now.